Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about the best decisions you can make in your land business. You are feverishly scribbling.
I do.
Sometimes she scribbles before the show. Sometimes there's just like,
There's a lot of thought.
this is Steve's show.
Sometimes there's no thought. Yep. And sometimes I just say, yeah, I'll interview you.
Kidding aside, we've been doing this now almost 25 years. And I tell you, there's 2 or 3 things that I can save you a bunch of time, I think. And I'm interested. We never share each other's opinions about what the show's about. So let's see if they're the same.
It'll be fun. I have my ideas. You have yours. We'll see.
Before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Kevin shares. He's one of our moderators. I went a whole year answering my own phone. You can do it, but you have to be available. People don't like to leave voicemails. They want to talk to a person. The best decision I made in this business was getting an answering service. I don't answer any calls. They all go through the answering service. Then I call back the ones I need to speak with. Huge time saver. And this came from this was actually a response to a question that someone was putting in there like, hey, how important is this kind of a thing? And that was Kevin's response, and which of course ties into our show today. And I love it. And I totally agree. And I know we're on the same page on this. In the beginning, it's good to get a feel for it. If you can, answer your own calls. Answer them all. If you have a missed call, call them back and call them back fast. If you have a day job and you can't do it at all, then I would try to hire that out, even if it's somebody that you know inexpensively, because it's so important to get a voice on the other end when these people get your offers and they call back. After that, they might not take your call, lose interest, and you miss some stuff.
It's imperative. It's imperative to answer your phone.
Yeah.
What I love about Kevin's statement here is that he did it for a year for himself. Mm-hmm. And then he made a decision because now he understands what goes on with these calls and the types of calls that come in and the concerns that the sellers have. So he spent a year collecting information mentally before he tasked himself to sub it out. And I think even now we just hired a new transaction coordinator, which is our original boots on the ground. And he is in the process of answering these calls himself, which is eye-opening. Tedious, eye-opening.
Yeah.
Is a great way to describe it. Tedious and time-consuming. And at first glance, this is a waste of time. But
valuable.
It's a real solid experience.
It is. You need to know where these guys are coming from.
Yep.
When I say these guys, you're the sellers.
What you never want to do is let it go to voicemail.
Right.
So even if you have a full-time job and you don't have the time to answer your phone during the day, then you need to get correct me if I'm wrong here, get somebody to answer your phone.
Right.
Whether it's a service or not.
The best voicemails are going to have missed calls. People are going to hang up. They're not that interested. Yeah. They don't think you're that interested. They may not even think that your business is that, together if you can't answer your phone, number one. Number two, some of these sellers they're not savvy on the phone, and they get turned off by voicemails. So that's why it's really important to catch those calls.
Exactly. Today's topic, the best decisions you can make in your land business. This is the meat of the show. Go ahead.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I put some time into this, as I always do. And I thought of like 3 time savers that they're not big, they're not huge, but the concepts, but they really do save you time. So number 1, some of the decisions: get quality data. Spend the money. If you think you're going to save some money in this business and buy a used list, or even worse yet, go to the county and spend 6 weeks trying to analyze it and scrub it and get into a workable format yourself because you wanted to save $100 or $200, whatever it is, that's not the best use. So a really good decision is spend a little money up front, get solid quality data to do this business. My number 2 is what Kevin just talked about. Someone else answering the phones. Get a service. when you want it, like we were just talking about, you do want to get to know it and answer the phone a bit in the beginning, understand the sellers. It'll help you to hire someone to fill that role, and or even if you hire a service, it'll help you create a good script and a good checklist of questions, the information that you need to know as the calls come in. So when it gets to you, you'll make a decision on who you want to call back, and you'll have everything that you need. So that's why it's valuable. Your time is valuable right there. And then number 3, I would say one of the best decisions in your land business is figuring out quickly what are the simple and tedious tasks that you do. Let's just say maybe something as a mail merge or posting properties and sub it out. And maybe it's a VA. I think those are 3 great things that you could do. What do you?
I have 2 big picture points to make.
Okay.
Whether you're 20 years in this business or this is the first time you've ever listened to this, this is the sentence you want to memorize and just say it to yourself over and over again until it's a reality. Good acquisitions solve all problems.
That's good.
Joe and I do a lot of weekly consulting for our members. And the consulting seems to be either one, they're just about ready to do a mailer and they want me to kind of look at it and price it and make sure the stuff's it's going to work.
Right.
Or they're trying to undo something. They're having a problem.
Right.
And that's immediately what I say to myself and to them. If you could go back and buy this property, would you buy it? Oh, no, heck no, I wouldn't. So good acquisitions solve all problems. Whether it's access or attribute or price, usually it's access or price that are causing slow sales.
Right.
So especially in the beginning, you want to make sure that you're buying the right property and you're buying it super cheap. That'll solve all the problems down the road.
So you're saying make a good decision right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then everybody that's involved in your organization with you, and if you're brand new, it's just you. But in my case, then sales get stuck with property and they're going to come back to you and all of it. Why? I would rather do half the properties that I think I should do, half the acquisitions that actually come in that I think we should do. I'd rather do that and not hear it from sales and just make their life easier and just send more mail out. So
Right.
That's big picture number 1. Good acquisitions solve all problems. Number 2, the biggest mistake I've ever made in my career, which we don't make anymore at all, is underestimating the power of marketing. If you're not marketing right now, I'll tell you, people, again, with consulting, they call us and they say, I just can't sell this property. And I swear, every single time I ask this question, well, where is it posted? On Zillow. Well, where is it posted? On Craigslist. Is that it? Just Craigslist? Just Zillow? Yeah. Well, if you posted it everywhere, would it sell tomorrow? Probably.
Yeah.
So you don't need to pay me for consulting to find out why property's not selling.
Right.
It's either not posted everywhere or it's not, or you paid too much for it. You're asking too much.
Right.
That's it. It's as simple as that. That's the whole business right there. Those are the 2 things that are the best decisions you can possibly make. Buy great property, super cheap, number 1. And when you do buy it, post it everywhere. I mean, like in 50 Facebook groups that have to do with whatever the property is. If it's good prepper property, prepper groups. If it's good rural vacant property in Arizona, there's tons of groups for that.
Right.
And you should be adding places to post properties in your operation on a weekly basis. Like we just started posting property probably way too late on OfferUp. We're getting back heavily into eBay and utilizing email resources right now, and it's proving to be incredibly successful. So, I don't know what else I could add.
So I was going to say. So what you're saying is, posting it everywhere. You should have a. So your 2 best decisions are: 1, make a good decision on the buy side. Number 1, if it's not a good decision, don't buy it. And number 2, utilize marketing.
Yeah.
So, and the thing I was going to add about marketing, which is so valuable, is you should always be posting it on all your regular places anywhere, and there should be like 20. Let's just say at least 20 places. I could rattle them off right now. And then you have, I'd say, make it your goal to find like 5 to 10 extra. And those 5 to 10 extra places would be like your prepper group or your fishing group or your hunting group or the rock climbing group or
Tiny
the
house.
RV group or the tiny house group or whatever it is that you see as a special niche,
Yeah.
for that
Off the
particular
grid.
property, it should be there. So, but in all your regular places or all your, maybe MLS, depending on the cost, probably, but all of your eBay, your website, Landpin, all the social media, everything like that. OfferUp, Marketplace, YouTube, everywhere should have it. I'm on it on Instagram, maybe even Snapchat. I don't know, but nothing's crazy. And who
Nothing's
knows?
crazy.
Nothing's crazy. You just got to reach these people, and there's always something new around the corner. It's
I mean,
fun.
just to put a cap on that too, you're going to generate some response, just like you plan for the response that you're going to generate from a mailer.
Right.
On the acquisition side, well, you're going to generate a ton of response. I failed at this too.
Right.
You're going to generate a substantial response from posting this everywhere from a marketing standpoint. And again, if you're not standing there with the catcher's mitt, dealing with these responses and converting them to sales, you might as well not market. So
Right.
you have to be conversion minded, and it all starts with marketing. We almost, in 2000 and what is it, between 9 and 11, Jill and I went through a terrible downturn in our sales, and we lost a lot of staff and really had to reorganize our whole company. It didn't sink the ship, but we were bailing water for a year, and it was all based on marketing.
I was going to say that. Okay, I was going to turn around and go, okay, let's talk about we talked about the best decisions. Let's talk about some of our worst decisions. Seriously.
Yeah, that is the worst
I
decision
got
I've
one.
ever made. Yeah,
I
go
got
ahead.
one bad decision that we made was, let's hide behind the name of the company and ignore this social media thing. Like we
Yeah.
weren't really trying to promote anything. We put our property out there for sale the same way we had always been doing. We didn't really roll with the times and get on board with social media, and that cost us. So that was one not good decision that we made. We recovered, and I know a lot of people that didn't recover. That's
Yeah.
what's kind of sad. There are a lot of people that are in our space.
Way more did not recover than did.
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting. I think why we get so many calls from years ago. I mean, we're the only ones that are still around, and
Yeah.
they saved our letters. So what's another not good decision that you can think of?
Buying an office building.
Oh,
I didn't have to think for that.
that.
That's way beyond the scope of what we're talking about here. But
But it's
I
good.
spent $2 million on an office building that it just ended in me writing a very large check.
Yeah.
2 large checks, one on the acquisition and one on the sale. So, and you know what? The whole time, what did we do yesterday? It was called the rental trap.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the commercial rental trap.
Yeah.
And
As a landlord.
yeah, as
Yeah.
a owner with,
Yeah.
tenants and stuff.
Exactly.
So that was a terrible decision. It was way beyond the scope of our core business, which was buying and selling real estate. Like all these other companies we have, this one included, Land Academy, is really centered around our core effort. House Academy, yep, that makes sense. Parcel Fact, yep, makes sense. Offers to owners, sure. Vertical integration. Office building, no.
That's good. No, you're right. Some people get distracted by that. I'm glad we're having this conversation. Like especially when you're getting started, you're focusing on one property type. You send out these offers. There's always going to be one that comes back, or people go, I don't want to sell that, but I want to sell this. And it might be an office building. And you get all excited thinking, hey, there's an office building cheap. Maybe I should get in on that. Don't do that. It's true.
Unless that's your business. I mean, if you're in the business of buying inexpensive office buildings, cleaning them up and selling them or leasing them out, or you're a
That's my
commercial-
point.
Yeah.
My point is, stick with what you're trying to do. Don't get distracted by something shiny. If you're flipping a lot of large acreage, farmland, whatever, you have a niche there, and an office building comes along, please don't get distracted by that. It could take away from your regular business. Or vice versa. You're doing office buildings, don't get distracted by this, pretty island. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That will slow your business down. So
Yeah.
these are good. I like
All of
this.
our companies, every single one, without exception, are data driven. Or they solve some solution that Jill and I have had issues with that are maybe a bottleneck in our actual core business. So all the sites I just reeled off solve some of those problems.
Yeah.
We're going to launch a site before the end of the year called the Car Academy, where it could be construed like, well, why are you guys going to, buy and sell cars? You don't, that's not real estate. Well, what it is it's utilizing data like we utilize to buy real estate, just for a different product type. And, you know, fortunately for us, we have the resources and the time and the money to bring in car experts to make sure that we're not making bad decisions on the buy side and consequently on the sell side. So, but it's all data driven. It's all sending blind offers to people that have a specific car that's hot in that market and doing all the RGY data analysis in that zip code to see what's hot and what's there. And if there are there too many Corollas in this, it's all data driven. So it's beautiful is what it is. I mean, I'm really, really excited about it.
I know you are. Hey, by the way, this is Land Academy
Oh,
show.
sorry. Here we go. This is what you
That's
pointed
right.
to, the
Land Academy.
show.
Just this little reminder.
You know, I'm going to get more mugs now that say stupid stuff.
I'll change them out.
Hey, we know your time's valuable. Thanks for spending some of it with us today. Join us next time for the episode called When to Negotiate with Land Sellers? Never.
Thank you. And we answer your questions posted on our online community found at landinvestors.com. It is free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Boy, you'd never know you're excited about that next venture that you're working on. It's hard to tell.
It's just like inside information.
I understand.
That's what I love about real estate.
I didn't know there was more data. That's what's shocking to me too.
You can
There's more
take a
data
zip
for
code.
cars.
Just like with houses and land.
Yeah.
You can take a zip code, find out, is there too much land? Is there not enough land? Are there too many houses? Not enough houses. Are they selling? Aren't they selling? Just like cars.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. Actually, in a lot of ways, there's more data.
That's what I said. I didn't know that when you found that out. It's amazing to me. Wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
And inspiration
to buy undervalued property.